Hey yo, what's up you guys? Today we are fishing here in Fort Pierce, Florida at Little Jim's Bridge. Let's see what kind of monsters we can catch today. Let's go. First things first, we gotta try to catch the bait. I already scanned the edge over here and I didn't really see any greenies jumping. Typically, if you can see them at the top water, that means that's where you want to throw. Let the cast net sink all the way down, because even if they might look too small at the top, at the bottom you might find some bigger ones. So I'm gonna get the bucket ready and we're gonna go and see if we can scan the area. Like I said, typically I've been finding them around the corner, and so we're gonna get it ready. And we've got our double bubble. Remember guys, I was saying last time, if you buy a bubbler, keep the case. The case is supposed to go on it to protect the internals of your battery pack so that it doesn't rust out so quickly. Like, they can last you actually quite a long time if you make sure you have this protective case on top of it or over it. It might seem like a very small pro tip, but again, sometimes it's those small pro tips that help a lot, go a long way. Make sure that when you put your bubblers on the bucket, do it on the opposite side. Like, don't do it too close to where this piece is, right? Because if, I know it sounds self-explanatory and you're probably gonna learn the lesson anyway, but if you go like this and you try to lift up on it, you can't do it. Or if you're too close here and you go to actually lift up all the way on it, sometimes it'll kick it off. So, just keep them on the opposite side of your handle. So, little pro tip. All right, we're gonna scan the area, see if we can't find some bait. Any luck, man?
Not yet.
Not
There's
yet?
a whole bunch of bait down there.
Oh, is there really? Sweet, awesome. So yeah, you can already see the ripples in the water. So you have definitely some greenies right here, big ball of greenies. And sometimes that's all it is, you gotta pay attention to the water. You can actually, if you get good, like, see that little ripple of water there? That to me looks like it could be a bundle of mullet just swimming around. And you could just tell by the ripples in the water. So, it looks like there's a big chunk right here. This is exactly what we're going for. So we're gonna go get the net. Exactly what we want for bait. This is freaking sweet. Check it out. So this right here is a very slippery fish. This is a mahara, right? One of the best baits you can have here on the Treasure Coast in Fort Pierce, Florida. First off, they are the longest living bait besides like pinfish, but they can live at very low oxygen. Greenies just use a lot of oxygen, and so that's what I like most about this bait fish here. But and then right now in that cast, we just got a really nice assortment of sizes. This is perfect snook size right here. But snook will eat freaking baby greenies or mahara like this big as well. But I just wanted to show you, this is a mahara. So, this is an S tier bait fish down here in Fort Pierce, Florida. Definitely, if you catch these, man, you guys are gonna have a good day. Okay, cool, check it out. So right now we have a strong incoming tide right now, ripping past these pylons, right? So you see all this water just rushing in and churning. Like, this is perfect for feeding activity right now. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one of my rods ready. I just wanted to show you. And right now what we're gonna target is around this wall here, because what happens is all this water will come around this wall, and then predator fish will wait right here. Predator fish are waiting all in that area there. Predator fish are waiting in between these pylons, because all of the bait fish that gets pushed in between this area, this is just a choke point for them. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you how to bait your bait fish. So let's go. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to properly hook your bait fish depending on the circumstances and the conditions, because that is very important. So right now, you have two variables when it comes down to hooking your live, You have two major variables when it comes to hooking your live bait fish, right? It is current and size of the bait, okay? So now those things kind of balance between both of themselves, right? So right now with this current is going pretty strong, right? Depending on the area, right? So if I throw this pole all the way out to the middle of that current, none of these bait fish really are gonna have the best ability to swim and handle that current. So if I'm casting out into the middle of that current, I'm actually gonna go end up hooking this Mahara straight through the nose, because it's all about presentation. The presentation needs to look perfect for a fish to have that predator-prey response to want to take a bite, right? So in that current, when I'm using my little fish finder rig and I got my weight here holding bottom, and then basically the idea is with that weight's holding bottom, that current is allowing this leader line to flow into the current, right? If I'm having him hooked through the back, he's gonna be swimming all wonky and not right. So in strong current, especially with a bait fish that maybe can't swim like strong enough on its own. Now, if this was like a 5-inch bait fish, you know, it might be a little bit better to hook him through the neck so he can swim around a little bit more freely. In current like that, I'm gonna put it straight through the nose, right? But now, right here, the first spot that I'm gonna try is right here in this pylon area here. See right there, there's not much current going on, and you want them to swim around a little more freely, and so I would actually be hooking them through the neck right here. So I don't know if you can probably see that. These guys are super slippery. And he got away. Gosh darn it. So he lives to see another day. But right through the back of the neck right here, right, is right where I would hook this guy here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna show you. And you want that hook to be exposed as much as possible. So really you're just going through the nape of the neck, right? And I'm gonna show you right now where I'm gonna put this bait fish, okay? So let me make sure I got a good angle here. Okay, so right here off the wall, I'm gonna give it a cast. Perfect. So right now that weight's gonna hold at the bottom there, and that bait is gonna be able to swim around freely, and something's gonna come around and take a look at it, and most likely is gonna want to take a bite out of it. I'm gonna put the drag down to maybe like 30% here, right? See that? And then I'm just gonna basically set it down right here. Because the thing is, and let me show you how I set it down, because it is fine to set them down. The problem is when you set them down and the drag is locked out, and people, I'm sure, have stories of them losing the rods because a massive fish ended up taking it in. So let me show you real quick right here. I typically set it down just like this. Got the eyelet right here on the corner, and so if anything kind of happens at the top, sometimes this will just fall and the eyelet will actually you know, hold against the wall there. The reason why I don't like just letting it sit like this is because if a big fish ends up hitting that braided line, it's right there on the concrete, and it can just end up rubbing really quick and popping if it's a big fish. So we're gonna go ahead and let this sit right here for a second and get another rod all set up. Let's go. This is my bigger rod. I'm hoping to catch a big jack on this today. This is a 5/0 circle hook, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Actually, because I'm gonna send them out there a little bit, like I was just saying, into the stronger current, I'm gonna go ahead and put it through the nose, just like this, and I'm gonna cast it way out there. It's always super important to reel in your slack. You know, in general, anytime you really want, that is always going to help you feel bites, see bites better, right? So the only time that you're not necessarily like reeling in all slack sometimes is when you're free lining and you're just throwing a fish out there and it's going with the current, because what's going to happen there sometimes is if it gets bit by a fish and that fish goes to run with it, you're, you know, especially with the circle hook's most likely going to, you know, set itself, and the fish is just going to be on, and you'll be fighting a fish. So got 2 rods here. You know, we've got one in the pylon area here that we're fishing, so I'll show you real quick. So we got one basically set right here in this little pylon area. There's definitely a bunch of predator fish fish living around here. I've caught big snapper, big grouper, and then we have that other larger rod right there set out into the current where I've caught big jack. So we've got some nice lines set. But now I have my third rod here, and this is my free line rod. So we just got a 2-aught circle hook, 20-pound leader, 40-pound braid, and it's a 3000 type reel. Now, if we see any bait fish get blown up around here, we're gonna grab one of those maharas and just pitch it right at them, see if we can't get hooked up. But until that happens, we're just gonna have this one on standby. Like in that situation, we checked the rod, right, and actually it was completely covered in seaweed, both on the weights and both on the bait. But check this out, our bait is still alive, but it looks like he got bit by something, because you can kind of see all of his scales are missing here. And I mean, just because I've been fishing for a long while, I'm gonna guess it's probably a big old catfish, right? Because catfish have very abrasive mouths and they'll just remove. Snook will do the same thing, but snook a little bit more aggressive than catfish. Catfish are kind of lazy, so. But we're gonna go ahead and get a new fish on here and get it back out there. Okay, little baby mangrove snapper, perfectly hooked. That was pretty funny. So I had just thrown a little smaller mahara and was live lining it right here off the wall. And this pretty little deep color, very deep colors of red and green and brown, and he ended up taking a bite. Let's put it right through the nose here and put him right off the wall. So we were over here live lining and ended up catching another small little fish off the wall. Look at this, this is a nice little black grouper. Right, they are so pretty. One time here I caught a strawberry grouper. It was so pretty, very light color, you know, had some pink on it, had like red polka dots. It was really such a pretty fish. But yeah, this is also a very nice fish, perfectly hooked in the corner of the mouth. We're gonna go ahead and get him back in the water here. We got this rod here, a nice new bait. We got that rod over there. Lines are set, so we're just looking for a big bite. But we are about to pivot here, okay? Because that's what fishing is all about. It's about adapting and pivoting, trying new things, right? So the live bait has not entirely been working, right? So now we're going to switch to maybe a nice cut piece of bait that's gonna give all of that smell and all of those juices from the fish to go out into the area and see if something might come over here and take a bite. But that's what we're gonna go ahead and try now, a little bit of cut bait activity. So we're gonna get on that right now. So I changed up strategies again. Basically what I did is, like I said, I moved to cut bait. But when I was trying to throw it around these areas here, my only issue is I don't want the bait kind of laying on the ground. You know, it'd really be nice if the bait could be flowing nice into the current. And especially if it's properly stationary, something is gonna sniff out that bait, come to it, and take a bite. But the problem, if the water's not moving enough and it's just sitting here and laying on the ground, it's just gonna attract crabs, stingrays, all that stuff that we really don't want. So I still moved to cut bait. I think that's gonna be the best decision here. Live bait's just not been getting hit at all, other than off the wall here, off the free line, by a little snapper, little grouper. But you know, we want their big cousins. You know what I'm saying? So we sent it out there. Now the bait should be moving around, and looking forward to a big bite, man. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna throw this guy over here live with a weight in that flats area. Hopefully we catch a nice flounder. Got that set, trying a bunch of different ways to fish this area and see if we can't catch some fish. You know, that's sometimes what it's about. Some places make you work harder than others. Little Jim's is a little bit like that. Notice, you know, with the gaining popularity. Boat traffic through here. You know, it's really only fishable during the weekdays. During the weekends, there's just far too many boats that come through this intersection here, and this waterway is just packed with boats during the weekend. So during the weekday is really the only time that you can get out here and try to fish this area. But even then, I feel like this area has become a little bit desolate due to you know, so much activity, because a lot of people end up jumping off the bridge. It's kind of like a thing around here. It's a way of entry into the life of being a Fort Piercian, you know, but it doesn't help with the fishing. So this area, it's been tough. I've fished here constantly since like 2020, and I've seen this area just, you know, I mean, that's just what it is. The only thing constant about life is death, taxes, and a good God that we have, right? But and so in life we've got to adapt, and we've got to just, you know, move with the tides, right? Like, you know, that's, things change, and that's just the way of life, you know? And so that's kind of what led me to do these videos, guys, was you know, this area. I love this area. You got the shade, you got live music from Little Jim's. I mean, you can catch bait here all day, but the thing is the fishing for actual quality keeper, you know, fish is just gone way down. Like, you know, it used to be good for jacks, which is a good fight. Not necessarily the most, you know, good eating fish, but definitely a good fight. But really all I catch around here now is, you know, the ever so often a nice snapper. Not as frequently as they used to be. I catch stingray. I catch what else? Gaff's top sail catfish, sail cats. So I mean, not really, you know, the target fish that you want. You know, I want keeper, snapper. I want, you know, grouper. I want snook, tarpon. I mean, I've never caught a snook here. Never hooked up to a snook here. Never seen a tarpon here, never hooked up to a tarpon here in all of 5 years, 6 years. So, yeah. So, you know, it's just every area is a little bit different, you know? Oh, snap. Oh, that's a decent bite. That's a decent bite. Ooh, he's chewing on it. Ooh. We're on a nice fish, y'all. We're on a nice fish. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. Oh, come here, baby. What is it? Oh my goodness. Look at that, you guys. This is exactly what we were targeting. That is freaking sweet, dude. That is a nice mutton snapper. That is exactly what we were targeting. Dude, that is awesome. They have to be 18 inches. We're gonna get a measurement on this guy. Oh man, that is freaking sweet. He definitely don't look 18, unfortunately. But we're gonna get a nice measurement on him real quick. Oh my gosh. So the measurement on this stud of a fish is so he is 14 inches. So 4 inches too short. Look at that. It's a nice mutton snapper. Like I said, 4 inches too short. So we're looking for his bigger cousin, but that is exactly what we're going for. We want this to put on the dinner table. All right, we're gonna get it back. Oh yeah. Swam our way real good, man. Dude, okay, that's what we're looking for, man. That was sweet. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna call it for today. You know, it was a good day. We ended up catching 3 fish. It was a mangrove snapper, we got a nice little grouper, and we got a nice mutton snapper. Overall, the bite's been a little bit slow. Really had to kind of work and use a bunch of different strategies to try to find the fish and get into a good rhythm and do some catching. But other than that, man, it was a pretty nice day. We did get our target fish, which was cool. A nice mutton snapper, just wasn't big enough, wasn't as large as we needed it to be. It needs to be 18 inches. It was 14 inches, so we're still on the hunt for a keeper mutton. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe, share this video with a friend, man. All of that really helps push this content to people that like it just as much as you guys. So thank you so much for all the support. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you next time. Peace.